Oh, now we're live.
Okay.
Let's try that again. Take two.
Groundhog Day.
All right, happy Talk Like a Pirate Day Eve. And if you notice, ladies and gentlemen, we have 6 screens going on here. We have 4 guests tonight. Before we get to our guests, though, let's do what we always do and tell you. If you want to be a part of our crew, a part of our show, you got to go to youtube.com, look for Captain's Quarters Podcast. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the little bell, do all those things so that we're obnoxiously tuning you in every week so you can catch the show at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Speaking of 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, let's go to our guests. Let's start all the way out west, which would be Oregon. Is that correct?
Washington. Close.
Washington. Well, it's close. Hey, one state's as good as another. Ladies and gentlemen, that's old Chumbucket. He is 50% of the origination of Talk Like a Pirate Day 21 years ago. Yay! Yes. The middle booth, that's Nasty Nate. Now, Nasty Nate is the singing voice behind Rusty Cutlass, right there out of Disney and the Disney Pirate Band. Nasty Nate, welcome aboard.
Thank you, Mayhem.
We've been friends now for, 17 years, something like that.
Yeah, and you still owe me money.
Yeah, well, good luck on that one. And there in the left-hand corner for everybody is Captain Tom Mason of the Blue Buccaneers.
Hey.
Yes, and so when I was putting all these ideas together, I had these 3 in mind, but we also have one other guest, and that's Miss Scarlett Deerhart here, sitting in the studio with us. And the reason we brought her along is because tomorrow is her birthday.
Oh, fantastic.
And she's actually been a big supporter of the podcast ever since we started. And we thought we would give her a chance to put her lovely face up on the screen and give this whole thing a bit of class. So as you can see, we've got 5 guys and 2 women, and the women are going to make this look much better than all the rest of us guys.
Absolutely.
Upon that note, there's old Nate, Gunfire Henley and Mandy Joe out in Utah. So let's see. Tom, are you in Nashville?
In Nashville, Tennessee, yes.
Very good. And Nate, you're down in Orlando.
Yep.
And Washington.
Tacoma,
Washington.
Tacoma.
Mandy is in Utah. We are, and Hellfire Henley's up in the panhandle of Florida. We literally are a national show tonight. So that's pretty cool. On that note, before we do anything else, let's get our 8 bells and a couple of the other things out of the way so we can spend more time talking to our guests about International Talk Like a Pirate Day. 8 bells, sponsored by the Rikers family of reenactors, good members of the St. Augustine Swashbucklers, and reenactors by their own right. They've been part of the Mena Menendez, the Castillo de San Marcos Fort, and now Pirates by their own rights being a part of what we do. They are Rikers reenactors. And our 8 bells now are, I must go ahead and put my glasses on, ladies and gentlemen. Michael McGrath was an American actor best known for his work on the Broadway stage. He received a Tony Award in 2012 for his performance in the musical Nice Work, If You Can Get It. In 2014, he was in the ART 3 Broadway production of Finding Neverland, replacing Roger Bart in the dual role of Charles Frohman and Captain James Hook. On television, McGrath was the announcer sidekick on The Martin Short Show. He was 65 years old, ladies and gentlemen. Second up, Michael Anthony Williams, an American professional football player who was a wide receiver for 5 seasons in the National Football League. He played college football for Syracuse Orange and was selected by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the 4th round of the 2010 NFL Draft. He also played in the NFL for the Buffalo Bills and the Kansas City Chiefs. He was only 36 years old, ladies and gentlemen. That is terribly sad. 36. Who's next, Miss Mandy? William John Miller II was an American actor. He was best known for his soap opera roles as Billy Abbott on CBS The Young and the Restless, and Jason Morgan and Drew Kane on ABC's General Hospital. He won an Emmy for Outstanding Supporting Actor in a Drama Series in June of 2010, as well as June of 2013, and he was only 43 years old. Brandon Hunter, an American professional basketball player in the National Basketball Association, the NBA. Hunter was selected as a second-round draft choice, 56 overall, by the Boston Celtics in 2003 NBA draft. He was selected by the Charlotte Bobcats in 2004, the expansion draft in 2004, and then he was traded to Orlando Magic for Keith Bogans on November 1st, 2004 in Orlando. He averaged 3.1 points and 2.2 rebounds on average in 31 games. He was only 42 years old. Those are some young people and sports people, too.
Can I add one?
Yes, you may, Tom. Add one.
Yes. 2 days ago, Nashville lost a wonderful bass player, totally out of the blue. His name is David Rowe. And Dave played with Johnny Cash for years. And Jerry Reed as well, and Chet Atkins, and Dwight Yoakam. And the thing about Dave was he was not only a great bass player, but a wonderful storyteller. So we're all in a state of shock here in Music City.
How old was he, Tom?
He's probably I think he was about 70, 69 or 70.
Very good. Yes, when we do these, if any of our guests ever have one, we're always open. I mean, when we lost a few pirates here in St. Augustine a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, we did a quick one for them also. So the 8 Bells is not just for celebrities nationwide or international. It is for our local friends and relatives also. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, we raise our glass. If you have one, we say good words and spirit to those that are left behind. And ladies and gentlemen, we sound the 8 bells. Aye, and on that note, we've given our honor. Okay, an extra 2 bells. That's all right. It gave me a chance to look for the spot where I wanted to put my mouth on my glass.
Yeah. Hey, Commodore. This was a while ago, but I would like to mention my good friend Rachel Siegel. She was down in Key West, and she died several months ago, and she was known as Starboard Sarah and was an amazing musician. She played like 9 instruments and most of the concertina and mandolin. Lived in a boat down in Key West.
Wow.
And we have had young.
Well, yeah, we have had quite a few pirates over the last year or 2 or 3 who have passed on, and we've been talking amongst ourselves within our website that would honor some of these, and it means that we would go all the way back to Joseph Osteen, at least, because Joe Osteen was the original founder of the St. Augustine Swashbucklers. And so we would go back as far as that to him. So we're considering something we can do to honor all the pirates in all the circles and all the crews across the country, and add it to our podcast as a way to honor those. On that note, we always do Joke of the Week with Mini Mayhem, ladies and gentlemen, and he's got a joke for you this time, I'm hoping. Are we ready, Mandy? Now, the Joke of the Week is sponsored by Shiver Me Pictures with Scarlett Deerheart. On that note, let's hear the joke.
Ahoy, mates! Mini Mayhem here with a Joke of the Week. Sponsored by Shiver Me Pictures. Why are pirates never cremated when they die? Think about it, and I will give you the answer at the end of the show.
All right, so why are pirates never cremated when they die? We'll come up with that answer at the very end of the show, which means you have to stay with us so you get the answer to that question, which everybody has got on their mind now. It's a very important pirate question.
Does it have something to do with them being ash holes?
I have no idea, actually. I will tell you this, I'm never clued in on what the answer to the jokes are, so we'll see what happens. Let's go with Quote of the Week by Spyglass Travel. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want a great walking tour of the most historic city in the nation, St. Augustine, Florida, you must call our friends at Spyglass Travel and take a walking tour of the city. They are classified or been listed in the 10 top walking tours in the entire United States now. It's a great tour they give. You'll get a whole lot of information, not just pirates, but an outstanding look at the history of 450 some odd years of the history of St. Augustine. Spyglass Travel, ladies and gentlemen. And the quote of the week is brought to us. Go ahead, Mandy. Your words surround you like fog and make you hard to see. Edward Blackbeard Teach. Huh.
Profound.
I'm going to have to think about that one. Anybody have an idea what it might mean? Does it mean me doth think you protest too much? Could it be that? That's an interesting one. I like that one. Very good one, very good one. And question of the week, ladies and gentlemen, this is quite an easy one, but it's sponsored by Ancient City Sirens. Everybody knows Miss Gina, one of the top belly dancers in the whole world. Ancient City Sirens, they joined us out there at Ancient City Con this past weekend at World Golf Village. They danced one of the nights, did a wonderful job. She'll do fusion, pirate, country, it doesn't matter. She comes up with dance moves for every one of them and makes it very well. So, now, what's the question of the week? Well, it's quite simple. What do you do for Talk Like a Pirate Day? That's the question, and we'll see what some of our listeners will put on the comments as we come aboard. It looks like we've got quite a few people here. So, ladies and gentlemen, we move on to two last-minute things here. Crew adventures completed, which would be Ancient City Con. Did David kick up anything for Ancient City Con, Miss Mandy? If he did not, it's all right.
I'm looking to see if I can find anything.
And the other one is Crew Adventures on the Horizon, which would be, the next one is Spooktacular. That's our big one. We turned the entire Colonial Quarter into a big Halloween haunt now. So that was this past weekend. I got to do a seminar, and believe it or not, I was really nervous because they had never let anybody do one of these, and I was afraid that I was going to be standing there in a room and nobody would come. And I had over 30 people, so it was a lot of fun.
Aww.
That little lady was on our broadcast. We did several live broadcasts throughout the weekend, ladies and gentlemen, and we got to talk to some great people, some great children. That little one there, she knows all about pirates and mermaids. She was just adorable, and there's some really great costuming work right there. So if you go to our podcast channel, ladies and gentlemen, Captain's Quarters Podcast, you can see the videos. Now, I'm going to give you fair warning. The videos will actually have a lot of background noise in them. But there's some of the crew at our booth, and I thought the videos were better than they were last year, but it's given us cause. We're actually going to build, and Mark, you'll probably get a kick out of this, we're actually going to build a portable sound booth to start doing podcasts anywhere we want.
Nice.
Yes. We've come up with the idea for it, and we're going to do it for next year and probably have it ready to go beforehand. So, on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we don't want to waste any more time because I've got some great guests here. That's our Spooktacular. If you want to join us and sponsor, we have a $200 sponsor and a $500 sponsor for Spooktacular. Believe it or not, we have only 6 of the 13 available of the 200, and we have half of the 500 already gone. So we need a little bit more, and then we're in like Flint. We're doing well. And the nice thing about having all that sponsorship, ladies and gentlemen, it means 100% of the ticket money goes to the charity. And that's always my goal.
Hey, Commodore.
Yes.
Was that James Doohan I just saw in that picture?
Actually, no.
Well, he looked
it is
just like
a look-alike.
He looked just like him.
He looks like him. He makes costumes and Star Trek paraphernalia. And, hey, Mandy, I don't know if you can do it or not. I sent a picture into the Captain Quarter, our message feed that we were doing. Me sitting in, believe it or not. Is there a way you can pop that up?
I think so.
I'm testing Mandy's expertise now. But ladies and gentlemen, every captain should have a great captain's chair, right? Well, you should see the captain's chair I got to sit in at Ancient City Con. If it comes up, Mandy can do it.
Working on it.
She's working on it. Once she does, there it is. There, ladies and gentlemen, that's a proper captain's chair.
Wow.
I've never seen a commode that looked like that before.
What's that? What's that?
I've never seen a commode that looked like that before.
Yeah, well, it has buttons with the toilet paper.
Right there.
Yeah.
And a personal valet. That's good.
Yes, a personal valet. They have a setup there, and I'll tell you about it. It's really cool. They actually have a sound stage up in Kingsland, Georgia, and they have several of the different sets from the original Star Trek series, and they allow people to come up and do videos, short movies. We're going to do one. We've been talking about it for over a year. We're going to do one. Now I'm going to test your trivia on old Star Trek now, all right? We're going to do one where the pirates of Captain Mayhem are going to take over the brig, the whole captain's area, and our purpose is we're on the lookout for Harry Mudd. Anybody remember who Harry Mudd was?
I never watched it.
Go ahead, Chumbucket. Who was it?
Con man.
He was a con man and a space pirate. And he was played by the actor
Robert Newton.
not Robert Newton. No,
Roger
no.
C. Carmel?
I think that's his name. He also did the Doritos commercials back a long ages and ages ago. But he was a comedian, and like many comedians, they reach an early end of their life, brought on upon by themselves, and he did. He was a great comedian, though. He really was. But on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we have the greatest of all pirates here, Chumbucket, Nasty Nate, Captain Tom, Scarlet Deerheart, and Hellfire Henley, and Mandy Joe, and yours truly. So let's talk like a pirate day. Chumbucket, it is 21 years old tomorrow, correct?
It is 21 years old since it came to the world's attention.
Okay.
We actually started it in 1995. Captain Slappy and I, and we were just Mark and John then. Now we're Captain Slappy and Old Chumbucket. We're at the YMCA playing racquetball in June 6, 1995, and one of us, it was actually Mark. He says he doesn't remember. It was Mark. Let out an "Arr!" in the middle of the game. He started talking like a pirate, and I followed suit. And by the time it was over, we realized we'd had more fun than we ever had on a racquetball court, and we decided the world needed a day, one day a year, when every man, woman, and child on the planet talks like a pirate. Now, that was June 6th. And of course, that's the celebration of D-Day, the commemoration of D-Day. That's a sacred day, so we needed a different day. I said, Mark, we need a different day. He said, without hesitation, September 19th. I said, okay, why? And he said, because it's his ex-wife's birthday, and he wasn't using it anymore, but it was stuck in his head. Maybe we didn't.
I read that in the book.
For the
That
first
made me wonder whether Mark's ex-wife was Scarlett here?
No.
Because it is your birthday tomorrow, right?
Yes. However, in 1995, I was only 10.
Well,
that
Mark is not he's an open-minded man.
Anyway, and you could tell if you've seen my picture, you can tell how well the exercise regimen went. But I just want to say, we do not take it personally. We do not feel offended that the YMCA in Albany, Oregon, never put up a commemorative plaque on this racquetball court. Talk Like a Pirate Day was birthed. We don't take it personally.
Yet.
Yeah.
We don't understand it, but we don't take it personally.
So let me ask you this: was all the R's and the pirate vocabulary? Was that the improvement of your racquetball game?
It was actually a replacement for our racquetball game. I haven't been on a court in years. And I'm much happier man for it.
So one of the reasons
I haven't been to court in years either.
and I'm too old to be courting anybody anymore.
Yeah.
So pardon me. So I brought Tom in because Tom has on one of his pirate albums, Talk Like a Pirate. Now, did you write that song for this because you knew them then?
Well, I was lucky enough. The reason I became a pirate, I became a pirate because I was like touring the Virgin Islands for 2-week stints at a time, and I needed to write a pirate song. I was with an Americana group, and when I did actually finally put a pirate group together, Blue Buccaneers, we went to the Virgin Islands, and I met the king himself. Old Chum Bucket lived in St. Croix. And so, you know, if there had been a mountain on St. Croix, he would have been the man sitting at the top. We would all go up for advice, you know. But somewhere along the line, I had an idea that we needed to write a theme song, and I had a perfect co-writer for it.
So we're talking 21 years now that it has been known by the public.
Right.
Yeah.
So, Nasty Nate.
Yes, sir.
The first Pirate of the Caribbean was 2003?
Yeah, 20 years ago. They just celebrated the 20-year anniversary.
So all of it falls in place.
Mm-hmm.
Really, literally, all of it falls in place together. And
we like to think we paved the way for them.
Yeah.
Yes, you did.
I would give you that. Cheers to that. You paved the way.
You paved the way.
I think Disney owes you royalties, Chum Bucket.
I think so too, but I can't even get them on the phone.
So, with all of that, with what you started and then Pirates of the Caribbean, every one of us on this show, we benefited from that.
Absolutely.
We have benefited from that. What you started 22 years ago, we've all benefited for. And I always have people, I don't know, Tom and Nate and Chum Bucket, I don't know if you ever have people ask you this, but I've had people, because I know Nate knows that I've done, I don't know, almost 10,000 tours in the last 12 years. Constantly you'll get all kinds of questions. So I wonder if you guys get the same question. Is there ever a bad pirate movie? And you know what my answer is? So I'll give you all a chance to give me an answer if you think of one. My answer is it doesn't matter if it's a bad one or a good one. As long as they keep making them, we still have a job.
That's right.
That's true. That's very true.
I mean, because there's a few of the Pirate of the Caribbean movies that were just not up to snuff, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
There were a couple that, you know, could have been a little different. So
Captain Phillips was not fun at all.
No, that wasn't fun at all. Not at all.
I am the captain now.
I have people reference that pirate movie the Somalian pirates and Captain Phillips when they're in the Pirate Museum. Well, why we got these pirates? Well, they're different pirates because the pirates we're all dressed as, we had honor.
Yes.
I don't see everybody jumping to that one either, do I? Yeah, but we had a bit of honor, so to speak. But so, Tom, how many albums have you done? Or, now they don't call them albums. See, I'm showing my age now. How many?
I still do.
Do you? I still do it.
There's still albums.
How many CDs do you have now that are pirate related?
We have six full-length CDs.
Not enough.
Not enough.
Not
enough.
Our latest is Sail Again. But we
See,
have
now you're smart. You brought yours to. That's a good idea. I didn't even think to do that.
yeah,
Rusty Cutlass.
I can't really do much with here, but I
Nate,
also actually
go ahead.
just published a songbook.
Oh yes, I saw an advertise. I saw you were talking about that somewhere.
I need to purchase that book, please, sir.
I do too.
It even has a song co-written with Master Chumbucket, "Talk Like a Pirate."
Oh, very good.
Yeah, so
So is the music and the lyrics in the book?
that's right. Yeah, the melody and the chords and the words.
Well,
He was very kind to give me credit for that.
Oh, go on.
I must have contributed 8 whole words.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. Oh, they were
Did
the
you
most
just-
important words.
Did he just
Talk
call
like
somebody
a
an
pirate.
a-hole?
An ash hole.
I distinctly heard him say a-hole. Oh, a-hole word. Okay, never mind. All right, go ahead.
Hey, Tom.
Yes.
Is Logan Redwood still playing with you?
Not lately. I haven't. I've not been in the greatest physical condition, and so I'm not playing quite as much. But I've had some of the older pirates. Logan, the most wonderful singer in America.
Oh,
I
yeah.
swear. But he's been, because of that, he's been off doing
Barbershop.
barbershop, and then
Yeah.
he does Frankie Valley shows and
Yeah,
stuff.
he was in our our band, and then Tom stole it.
Yeah.
No, Tom pirated him.
Pirated him. Aye.
I just saw a comment on here by our good friend Matt Frick, who's the museum curator. Tom's albums are a large part of why I have an alcohol problem.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Tom, are you going to be at the Pirates of the High Sea event?
I am, yes.
You should bring some of those books there. I'll buy one from you there.
Sounds great. Yeah, just October
6, 7, and 8.
Yep.
6, 7, 8. Yeah.
First Columbus Day weekend.
Yep, we'll be there also.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
They want me to do more magic shows.
Oh,
I
great.
think I'm your opening act again.
Yay!
Yeah,
And this time, usually they've whisked the crowd away in the middle of our performance to take them to the battle, but they're not gonna. That's not gonna happen because
Well,
we're always
that's good.
crestfallen when all of a sudden we're playing and everybody leaves.
Are you performing at? And now this is at the Pirate of the High Seas in
Yep.
Panama City, Panama
Yeah.
City Beach, Florida.
Yep.
Are you doing Friday, Saturday, and Sunday performances?
Just Friday and Saturday for now.
All
Make
right.
sure you stop by Shiver Me Pictures and get a photo with me.
Oh, we will. We will definitely.
Well, they're doing it. You remember last year they did the period correct encampment with some of the pirates?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's bigger this year. It's about 20, 25 tents.
Oh, that's fantastic.
It's going to be really, really cool.
Dell is in charge of that, right?
What's that?
Dell is in charge of that, right?
Yes, my brother, Ransom Mayhem, is in charge of putting the pirate touch to this whole thing. And he's been working with these people with the Tourist Development Committee, I think is what TDC stands for. He's been working with them now for 8 or 9 years, maybe 10. And the St. Augustine Swashbucklers have been involved with it for, I don't know, let's see, 7 or 8 at least.
Mm-hmm.
We have as many as 20 of our crew going over this year.
Oh,
Wow.
that's great.
Wow.
So it's going to
It's
be
a fun event.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
I'm heading up to Beaufort, North Carolina tomorrow night.
That's
And
fantastic.
Beaufort is this weekend.
This weekend up in Beaufort, North Carolina. It's one of the biggest pirate invasions in North Carolina.
I will be there next year.
Oh, good.
I know that Ransom Mayhem from Panama City Beach, he's making plans to go to Beaufort this weekend.
Yes.
Good, good. I look
He's
forward to
going
seeing
up there
it.
too.
Well, you were Nasty Nate was one of the highlights of the Beaufort pirate invasion for me because
Go on.
the late night parlay with the drunken sailor and jokes.
Yeah, we have a good time.
Well, one of the things when we did Old City Pirate Festival over the past couple of years, where both Blue Buccaneers and Rusty Cutlass have been a part of it, we've had a couple of times where all of you have jammed on the stage together,
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
awesome.
and that's always my end dream, is to have all the musicians working together and doing a good jam together and having a good time.
It's so much
So
fun.
it works out well. But I mean, there's really some good pirate festivals coming up. You know, you've got the Pirates of the High Seas. You've got Beaufort coming up. With fingers crossed, Cedar Key.
Cedar Key, yeah.
It's happening. It's on.
So
They've
Oh,
said
yeah,
it.
it's definitely on.
We're holding them to it.
yeah.
And Mark,
We're
are
going
you
to show
doing-
up with bells on whether they say they're having it or not, right?
Right. Well, they need the money. They need us to
do.
come down and support them.
We've
And
got
Nate, are
several-
you doing Oka Coke?
No, I'm not doing Coke. I wish I could.
Is it happening?
I think so, yeah. I want to mention, too, that up in Beaufort, we're going to be celebrating Captain Sinbad's 80th birthday.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Yeah. You know what
Very
a pirate
cool.
says on his 80th birthday, don't you?
Hi, matey.
I'm 80.
He can legally say that then.
Yeah.
Very good. So, Old Chum Bucket, with all these festivals, all the festival talks that we go to, do you get a lot of invites to festivals all over because of the character that you are?
I've made the rounds. Yes.
And I'm not going to put you in a position to ask you what your favorite one is.
My favorite pirate festival is the one I'm at.
Yeah, all right.
Good answer.
I'll accept that answer. That's a
Okay.
perfect answer. Very good answer.
Were you
But-
at Long Beach this year?
Not this year. I'm planning to next year.
And that's in June, correct?
It's hard. It's usually right after the 4th.
Okay, it's in July. Yeah,
Yeah.
our crew, and it'll be open to to other pirates. But our crew is started buying tickets, and we're going on a 5-day, 4-night cruise, something like that,
Wow.
down to the Bahamas as pirates.
That sounds awesome.
Mhm.
I've already made plans to take over an ocean liner.
Is that open to anyone?
What's that?
Is that open to anyone?
It is open to anybody that wants to join us. Yes, we have opened it to others that want to join us, because the more people we get on board, the cheaper the tickets get.
Let's talk.
So, all right, we'd love to have you come aboard. They do something else on that line, that particular trip. They do a Family Feud, and we figured, hey, pirates are going to take over Family Feud.
That'd be awesome.
So we're looking forward to it. So, Tom,
Hi.
you besides doing pirate though, and I'm going to get to you too, Nate, because both of you are not hardwired into doing pirate music. But the reason you're here is because Tom wrote "Talk Like a Pirate Day," and I know that everybody thinks of pirates. They think of Disney, and when you think of Disney and pirates, at least all the pirates I know, we think of Rusty Cutlass also.
Oh, thanks.
So, I mean, the two of you with your groups, I got to be careful how I say this, because the Brigands are another one of my favorite groups to have worked with before. I've worked
I
with them.
believe it's pronounced the Brigands.
The Brigands. All right, I'll take that acceptance. But you guys really are almost everything that I've been involved in with pirate events. One of you or both of you have been at all these events. So, but you do other things. Tom, you've done some Shakespearean stuff.
Yeah. Well, I was Festy the Fool 2 years ago in 12th Night, and I wrote all the music for the play and co-wrote some songs with
What
Shakespeare.
what was your character again?
Esty the Fool. I was
They
like
picked
that.
you. They picked you for your experience.
What did you say, John?
I said, not typecasting at all.
I actually got my act together enough to make a CD in time of that one. So so that's something I did, and I was doing more acting before I found the pirate world. So, and then I've just recently been making a bunch of instrumental music. I've been making a CD, like I just put out a CD called Slide Guitar Meditations. And you know, the world gets so crazy that it's I find myself after a gig or whatever having a hard time going to sleep or quieting my mind. So I made this instrumental CD, and I've really been enjoying making that music. So
it's relaxing music?
Yeah, very
Good.
relaxing. People use it to sleep or to meditate.
Yeah, I'm finding that shutting off the brain gets harder and harder as we get older and older.
Exactly.
Yeah. Now, Nasty Nate, besides Pirate, you have another character that a lot of people know about this other character or know you from this other character, and that is the fireman on Main Street, Disney World.
Yeah, I did that for about 20 years.
And you've done also, you're really a great jolly old guy at the Christmas time.
Yeah, as are you, my friend.
Well, I appreciate that. But,
yeah, Christmas time is a good time to have a white beard.
It is. It is that. But you've also done music in the Perry Como, Sinatra, that maybe.
I had a group that we tried to think of ourselves like the Rat Pack. We did Sinatra and Dean Martin and all that stuff. I love that music. Yeah. You know, Disney's been so good to me. I've been able to be a pirate, a fireman, and a cowboy. So I got to live every little boy's dream working at Walt Disney World.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That is the best part. It really, I mean, I've had a couple of people, and I say this not as a brag on my side of it, more so, but I had quite a few people at the World Golf Village at the Ancient City Con that we were at. And this was our 5th year being at Ancient City Con, and I had some people. One of them was a star. He played one of the high command of the Klingons. And boy, and he was wearing a pirate hat the whole time he was there. So I went over and started talking to him, and he had borrowed this pirate hat just to wear it. And he had the white beard. And he looked like a pirate, but he was a Klingon. And he said Klingons were pirates.
Sure, the warriors.
But he said, Mayhem, you have the look of a pirate. You really, truly grew. And I said, that's because I grew old and ugly. And old and ugly makes us good pirates.
Amen.
Can I tell a quick Klingon story?
Absolutely.
Slappy and I were being interviewed by a radio station in Holland, in Amsterdam. And they brought us on, and we were talking, and they interviewed us, thank God, in English, because I don't speak Dutch. When it was over, I needed to stay on the line to talk to the director real quickly, and I could hear the program continuing. They were introducing their next guest, was also speaking like a pirate in Klingon.
No way.
And I thought, geez, now my life is officially surreal.
Wow. Yeah.
That's so great.
Yeah, I think
it was pirates.
the Klingon language, when I've done corporate events and we've talked about sci-fi and pirate and everything else, I've always told everybody that the Klingon language is a exaggeration of Hebrew with a whole lot of phlegm.
More than Hebrew?
What's that?
More than Hebrew?
Yeah, more than Hebrew.
Yeah.
So what, Chumbucket, with this Talk Like a Pirate Day that you created, you are the god. What's
We had someone just at a party Saturday tell us that we were the reason for the season. I'll take that.
Nice.
Okay,
I love it.
That's good. I like that.
That is good.
So, give us a good memory. What's one of the and you can go with the funniest or the most memorable, but give us a good memory from this last 21 years that really sticks out in your head that came from everything that you and Slappy did.
Well, there's a degree to which it all kind of there was a point where we were doing 80 radio interviews for drive time radio stations in a space of about 30 hours, all the way around the globe. So
Wow.
it kind of melds all together. But the guy we met who was at a research station at the South Pole, and that's right when the sun's starting to come up down there, and they all saved some of their liquor rations, and they had a big Talk Like a Pirate Day party. Part of the rules, sort of the society down at that research station was, at some point during your time there, you had to go out the back door, run 50 yards to the actual South Pole, and have your picture taken wearing nothing but your tennis shoes. And then you run back. And he had made the mistake. He went out there and he had the picture taken, and he ran back, and they found out the camera didn't work. He had to do it again. It's one of those things where anyone can do it once, but it takes guts to do it twice.
Yeah.
Talk about
Very.
frozen cannonballs.
Off a brass monkey.
Aye. There's the whole meaning of brass monkeys right there. Oh, man. Now, Tom, you've taken the Blue Buccaneers and you've done, and you can, please correct me because I'm probably going to be wrong, but you've done.
So am I.
You've done Scotland and Wales and Ireland and England. You've done the United Kingdom, correct?
Yeah, and we did Australia about 7 years ago or so.
Oh, the other England.
Yeah,
Yeah.
where all the convicts went, where our people went, were sent from England.
Yeah, I often tell that joke when I have people that come in the Pirate Museum and they have what sounds to me like it could be a British accent, but it's a little off, so it's Australian. And I'll say, and I purposely will say, oh, so you're from England? And they'll go, no, mate, Australian. And I went, oh, you're the other England.
Oh yeah.
So, give us give us a good story about your these travels with the Blue Buccaneers and the pirate bands, and what you're doing.
I lucked
And
like
see,
I did.
I've done this in the right order. Chum Bucket, then Tom. Nate, if you're paying attention, you're next.
Yeah.
Well, Nate
Not
is
a thing.
wonderful because Rusty Cutlass, because of Nate, knows every sea shanty ever written.
Yeah.
And then-
I learned them from Skip Henderson.
Yes.
Okay.
And
okay.
didn't you just make a comment on Facebook? This is the anniversary of Skip's passing?
Yesterday, he died 2 years
Yesterday,
ago.
that's right.
Yeah.
Skip Henderson.
Did you know Skip, Chum Bucket?
No, I did not.
Okay. He was from out in the West Coast.
Oh yeah, I remember Logan talking about him.
Yeah.
But yeah. Oh.
He wrote Billy Bones.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
He
he wrote
came to-
he wrote a lot of music that was in Pirates of the Caribbean.
Well, you know, one thing that happened. One of my. I think it was 2011 perhaps, or 2012. I was down in the Virgin Islands with a different group, and a very tall man walked up to me at a place called Rhythms at Rainbow Beach in Frederickston in St. Croix. And John, an old Chum Bucket knows exactly who I'm talking about. A man came up to me and said, "I was just listening to your pirate song on my stereo. I have this piece of equipment that I can rip any song off the internet and for free." So he was bragging about pirating my pirate song.
That was Captain Kelly.
Exactly.
That was Captain
Yes.
Kelly.
The next day, I should say that the next day he came dressed. He has all the costumes, and he came dressed as a pirate and bought a CD from me. So he made it. I think he must have caught the error of his ways.
Well, all good pirates find the error of their ways eventually.
Yes, at the end of a rope.
At the end of the rope, the hempen jig. Yeah. So Nate, it's your turn, and because you're at Disney World for how long have you been at Disney World?
I started working at Walt Disney World in 1986.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I worked there full time all the way up until 2020 and COVID, and they got rid of so many entertainers out there. It was kind of a bloodbath, but it happens. So,
yeah.
But we're fortunate that we're working back there right now at the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party. Yeah, so we're out there in front of the ride doing 5 shows a night.
If you don't mind me saying so, I don't mean. I'm sorry for interrupting, but a bloodbath at Disneyland just seems crazy.
Well, when it came to entertainers, so many people that had worked there for a long time lost their jobs, and it was unfortunate. They just let us all go, and then they said they'd bring us back. And,
yeah.
We move on. It's show business, right? Right, man.
It is.
I want to tell a story about the Virgin Islands.
All right.
We got to go down to St. Martin, and we were doing a gig for Coors and Anheuser-Busch. And they had us playing at a convention, and the person who was in charge of the event came up to us and said, all right, the client wants you guys, every time you're not playing music, to have a beer in your hand. And we're like, can we drink it? And they were like, yes, absolutely. So we did a lot more drinking than playing that night. But
good gig. That's a good gig.
Excellent gig.
So I have a story to share with everybody about my work with Disney World. I actually, when I was a teenager, my family went to Disney World, and I think Disney World had only been open. What year did it open, Mark?
71 at Orlando.
So I believe we went in 73.
Mm-hmm.
So I only had 2.5 more years of high school, so it was like my 9th year of high school. So we went, and back then there was a magic store on Main Street.
Yes.
And I spent all my time and, against my father's wishes, all my money in the magic store on Main Street. And I thought it was so cool. When I got home, and we lived in Panama City because my father was stationed at Tyndall Air Force Base on the Panhandle. When I got home, I sat down and meticulously wrote a letter to Disney World asking for a job as a magician at the magic store. I got an answer. I got a full-page letter. It was the longest no I've ever gotten. The longest no. But it was so well written that it didn't hurt my feelings. So let's now fast forward to about 2014, or somewhere in there. I knew one of the guys that did Jack Sparrow at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, you should come up to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween. And you can stand out in front of Pirates of the Caribbean and just give candy away to the kids. Kids pull it out of their ear, doubling it, doing it. You've seen me. What's the moral? If you have enough patience, just fire you.
Uh-oh.
They'll flip out and they'll come back in. I finally, after all those years, got to work for one night in Disney.
Yeah.
And that's my Disney story.
And it counts.
And I was pleased with that. That was enough for me.
Yeah, I opened they had a Jack Sparrow show. It was called the Jack and Mac Show, and I'll never forget when we opened that show, all the people thought that the guy that was playing Jack Sparrow was Johnny Depp. They really, the audience, he had to be escorted out because the audience went crazy. They thought he was really Johnny Depp. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, everybody thinks that there are a lot of good Jack Sparrows. Let's just say that. There are some
and there's
good
a
Jack
lot of
Sparrows
that aren't
out there.
so good.
What's that?
There's some that aren't so good, too.
There are some that aren't so good. And I have a joke about Jack Sparrows. Jack Sparrows are like Elvis. There's one on every street corner.
Yep.
So, you know. So,
do you know who else worked at the Magic Store in California?
Steve Martin.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep, Steve Martin. That's how he kind of got his start,
Mm-hmm.
working the Magic Store there. Yep. I
wish
copied
they'd
almost
bring
everything he did.
I wish they'd bring the Magic Store back.
That would be great. They should.
Yeah.
So,
I just want to let you all.
absolutely, Tom. This is a free for all.
I just want to say that John, you know, like I was talking about how I have a pirate CD for kids called "If You Want to Be a Pirate," which also has a kids version of "Talk Like a Pirate Day." But John has a wonderful book for young adults. Is that would you say, or teenagers, called Chrissy Warren Pirate Hunter?
Do I?
Tell us about that.
I have one right here.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, you're just like those guys on the news that have their CDs behind.
What a crazy coincidence.
Oh, look at that. There's another one.
Yeah, this was written for middle schoolers. My wife was teaching fifth grade, sixth grade. Anyway, she was teaching, and every Thursday I would bring new chapters in and read them to the kids. And that's what guided the story. What was working, what didn't work, what got big last, put more of that in. I don't know how you write for that age group without having a test audience, but Chrissy Warren Pirate Hunter is fifth grader approved. Now, if people would just buy it.
And
Yeah.
I have the reading level of a fifth grader, and I loved it.
Well, thank you. So, right now I'm working on I'm working on an adult novel inspired by a song on your album, Tall Ships.
Yay!
And yes, you will get credit.
Yay!
Yay.
I love it.
So, one of the things that amazes me about Nasty Nate and Tom Mason and some of my other musician friends, you remember Dirty James?
Yes.
One of the things that just amazes me, and Reuben Morgan, in fact, him and I have had this conversation. One of the things that amazes me the most about you musicians is that you truly, really do have a whole plethora of stuff in your head. And it's just amazing to me that you have so much that you can get up on stage and pretty much there it is. And it's truly amazing when I go and sit and watch Nasty Nate perform and they do all the songs they do, or I see Tom performing. You guys, if nobody stopped you, you guys could do up to a 3-hour show with no break.
Mm-hmm.
But you know why it can't be a 3-hour show, right?
You got to go to the bathroom.
No. It can never be a 3-hour tour, otherwise you get lost with Gilligan and Anna Ann. But
No.
that's a different story.
You know, I just want to say Tom brought this up earlier about sitting around at night and sitting around the fire and having the parlays and the jams, and that's the best part of being a pirate for me. You know, the pirate community, everybody gets to be together and enjoy each other, and I always say it's like a family reunion because we don't get to see each other that often.
It's my favorite part. I can't sing worth a damn, but I did learn a lesson about pirates and singing. Nobody cares how good you sing if you're a pirate, just that you sing.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
So
It's something
enthusiasm.
else. We like to get people up on stage with us, and just the act of everybody singing along, it's just like, it's a unifier.
Yeah.
You know, it brings us
It's
together.
like my dad always said, sing good and loud. If you can't sing good and loud, just sing loud.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, it's great. It's great.
And there's something about those songs too. The general public doesn't know a lot of these songs, but the pirates do.
Yeah.
And we all sing them together. And then the civilians, like we call them, they want to join in. They want to, you get those choruses, all for me grog or whatever, and just jump in when you can, and they love it. And by the way, I want to let you know, at the Halloween parties, there's no shortage of pirates. They're young, old, everybody's still dressing like pirates. They're still very, very popular costume. I would say it's in the top 5 costumes.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. Because everybody wants to be a pirate, including Mark Twain.
Yep. Did I tell you about the guy that I saw dressed as Jesus?
No.
Yeah, I walked around and then I looked down and I saw his lightsaber and I went, "Oh, that's Obi-Wan Kenobi." Gentlemen, I've got to run. I've got to go do something, but I really have enjoyed being here tonight, and it's so good to see you, Tom. See you again. I'm glad you look like you're doing well, my friend.
Great to see you. And next time, I really want to hear more about your concertina.
Oh gosh,
It's amazing. I mean, for just one question: do you use English style, or
it's Anglo.
Is that like different notes?
Yes, each one push and pull, and it's ironic you were talking about concertina. Last night, both of my I have 2 C and G concertinas, and both of them went out of tune last night.
Really?
I broke reeds on both of them.
They would have sounded perfect in my band then.
Nate, before you run off, in the comment sections, Marissa, you know who that is?
Yeah, oh yeah.
And she said she can't wait to see you up in Beaufort.
Siren Sorsha.
Siren Sorsha. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
and Chum Bucket, it's a pleasure to meet you too.
Pleasure to meet you.
Yeah. Mayhem, thank you.
Hey, you're always one of my favorites to bring on board. We met on a ship up in Fernandina.
Yep.
17 years ago, you guys were playing music. I did the wedding the wedding vows, and we've been friends ever since. And I think that was the summer of 2007 or the summer of 2008.
Something like that. It all blurs together.
It does blend together.
Fair winds, everyone.
Great to see you, Nasty.
Cheers to you, mate. Cheers. Aye. So 1 down, 2 to go.
I just want to say real quickly that you were asking about the highlights. And for me, the highlight, more than anything else, has been the people I have met, the friends I have made. I never would have met Tom if it weren't for this, or people all across the country. I've got friends everywhere, and I've got awesome friends.
Yes.
I was at a gathering Saturday night, and it just blew me away. I was overwhelmed by how wonderful all these people are. And I don't know what it is about pirates that makes that so. But it was terrific, and that's been the highlight. I've met so many friends that I've never actually met.
And you know what the bottom line to all this is? It's your damn fault.
It's my damn fault. I got no one to blame but
Isn't that right, Tom?
That's right.
It is your fault, Chum Bucket.
I know. It's like, thank you, pirate guys.
You're right, though. It makes a camaraderie. And one of the Nate had made a comment, and I was going to throw something in, but now he's gone. I got to do it anyway. He was talking about, Tom, when we at the end of the night, the end of any of our events, we get together and we sit. Hopefully, we're lucky. There's a campfire to go with it, which gives it the ambiance, and we're sitting there passing the jugs around. We're having a good time. I actually truly believe, and sometimes I just stand back and watch that, I truly believe that's the same camaraderie that happened in this golden age of piracy that we talk about.
Oh, yeah.
I really think that we haven't created something new. I believe we have totally just brought something from the past into the present that still works today.
We tapped into it.
We tapped into it. That's a good way to put it, Scarlett. A very good way to put it. And So somebody's asking if you're going to sing a song tonight. If you want to sing, Tom, I'd rather you sing than have Chum Bucket sing.
Oh,
All right, Captain, we're getting quite a few requests from people who want to hear him sing.
All right, so Tom.
He just happens to have his guitar there.
He just happens to have his guitar. Kind of like you just happen to have a book.
Oh, yeah.
Crazy.
So, Tom.
1 second.
There. So, I think Tom should go ahead, if he doesn't mind. I think the request should be Talk Like a Pirate.
Yes. It's my favorite song.
If ye be a lost lad, talk like a pirate. If ye be a lost lad, talk like a pirate. If ye be a lost lad, talk like a pirate. It's Talk Like a Pirate Day. If ye be a lovely lass, talk like a pirate. If ye be a lovely lass, talk like a pirate. If you be a lovely lass, talk like a pirate. Talk like a pirate. For one day a year, we bark like buccaneers. So shout ahoy, ahoy, and
Hoy!
Heave to!
enjoy our pirate crew. I think one of the most important contributions that Master Chum Bucket gave to this song was this verse. If you dance a peg leg jig, talk like a pirate. If you dance a peg leg jig, talk like a pirate. If you dance a peg leg jig, talk like a pirate. Talk like a pirate. Yeah. So that's
But it's, that song, that song is probably known as well, if not better, than What Do You Do with a Drunken Pirate?
I hope so. You know, and there's actually a group. I would love it if you all could come to this pirate festival in Wales, in Conway, Wales. It is so great. The city of Conway is it's about an hour west of Liverpool, in the northeast corner of Wales, on the water there. If you can imagine, it's that little lump. Wales is that sort of goiter on the west of Great Britain, and it's just a wonderful festival. And we ended up staying with these people for a week. John Serveus and his wife came and sang with us, and for the life of me, I can't remember why I was telling you about this, but it'd be great for you all to show up there. No.
Well, I gotta tell you, I was telling my friend the other day at work about Talk Like a Pirate Day, and she's like, "What is that?" I said, "Dude, we even have a theme song." So I asked, you don't have a Google machine here, right? No? Okay, so I asked my Google machine at work, I said, "Hey Google, play the Talk Like a Pirate Day song." And they brought up a Talk Like the Pirate Day song that wasn't yours. There's another one out there.
Oh, yes.
The Tom Smith song.
Is that who it is?
Yeah.
I was like, what even is this? This is not what I wanted to hear.
So they're both by someone named Tom.
And his predated me, but I didn't find it.
If I find it again, I'll send it to you.
Great.
Well,
Oh no, I remember why I was telling you that, because I also met an incredible group. I met a few of them actually. They're like 27 people. They're called the Old Time Sailors, and they tour England for about 5 or 6 months every year, and they're from Argentina. And I have a hard enough time touring with a 3 or 4 or 5 piece band. 27 of them pile into, and they share beds and bedrooms and stuff like that. And they cover about 3 or 4 of these songs, 3 or 4 of my songs there. So, that's it. Yeah,
There it is, right there, Mandy. All right,
you're
Mandy,
right on it.
Very
She's
good.
on
She
it.
is
Well
on it.
done.
All right, I'm glad for that one. So, but normally we go through the comments at the end, but I'm thinking that a lot of the comments are coming up because of you guys. So I'm going to scroll back through as we talk a little bit more. And I'm also going to tell you who else is watching us too, because we have people from all over the country watching us, and we got a lot of comments. We got a lot going on here. So let's see what we got here. So Zach, what's that?
It's a busy chat section.
It is a busy chat section. So we have Zachary Harker, who's from up in Michigan, and he's thanking us or giving us a thank for the 100th episode. This is our 100th episode. How convenient is that on the eve of Talk Like a Pirate Day? I planned it that way on purpose, Chum Bucket, so I wouldn't steal your thunder for Talk Like a Pirate Day. But we have Zachary is from up in Michigan, believe it or not. And then you have Athena, she's over in the Panhandle. Jim is here, 100 shows. Paula De Niro is over at near Jacksonville. The Real Treasure Hunters. The Real Treasure Hunters. They're an actual group of treasure hunters down below Orlando and Tampa, actually looking for treasure, pirate treasure, if they can find it. It's good to have them. I'm glad to have them here. So they've made a couple of congratulatory comments. Nightingale in Florida. Ransom Mayhem from over in Panama City Beach. Ransom says, Nasty Nate, good luck on getting that money the other Mayhem owes you. I grew up with him. That's all I'm going to say. Nothing like having your brother stand by your back.
With his hand out.
What's that?
With his hand out.
No, his hand was always in my back pocket.
Okay.
Hey, let's see here. Tom Ransom says he is looking forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks. It's going to be a grand time to see you there. Parlay 8 has become good fans of ours. And we're talking about in 2024 doing some combination shows between our show and their show, so that'll be a lot of fun. They've been doing 8 seasons of their show, so
wow, we have some catching up to do.
Yeah, joining with them is a good thing. So let's see. Somebody mentioned Jerry Reed, and a lot of people knew who that was. Let's see. Come here. A couple of others. We have some people that come on Facebook. We always have to remind people, if you come and watch us by our Facebook channel, we only see you as Facebook user. We have no idea who you are. So sometime you might want to make note of who you are.
Or log in on YouTube.
Ransom Mayhem says the 2 extra bells were because we had a few others that passed that we might have forgotten. Good idea. I like that. Let's see. Ahoy from North Carolina. We've got North Carolina paying attention to us. We have Quebec, Canada. We sent messages this week up to our friends in Halifax, Nova Scotia, because they got hammered pretty good by the storm. Hurricane Lee hit them. So we did send some messages up there, but I think they're still digging out of all of that. Let's see. Some more congratulatories. Sound booth, yes, that's a good idea. Come on. Star Trek is awesome. Live long and prosper. Okay, you're right. We could have used the book for our Talk Like a Pirate episode. Ransom Mayhem says he's got a jar of dirt.
So do I.
Aye. So Matt Frick says he's the one that made the alcohol comment. So Tom, thank you for making him an alcoholic.
Oh, my pleasure. Anything I can do to help the youth of today.
It looks like Tom's voice may have gone out.
Anything I can do to help the youth of today.
Yeah, we lost volume.
You lost your volume, Tom. You might want to check your volume. Is it our volume or his volume?
I hear him.
Looks like our volume.
Oh, John Bucket heard me.
We seem to have lost some volume all the way around.
Okay,
Yep,
I was
I
just.
can hear him loud and clear.
Mandy, is it the volume control you have?
Haven't touched anything, but I can hear everybody.
Wow.
You're the only one who's not hearing me.
Again,
Hold on, we're
this happened the
gonna
other day.
change this real quick here. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
can hear you.
But I could before.
We can't hear them.
It's something going on with our system here. It might be us, but we can hear you just enough. We'll keep going.
Yeah.
Hold on. Can you hear me now?
Oh, I've heard you the whole time, yes.
We
We
hear
had this
you.
problem. I hear Mandy. All right, we turned it up some, so I think we can hear now.
Okay, it's like because we hear you like we did the last time, where we could hear you talk, but you couldn't hear anything back we said to you.
I know. I don't know what's going on. We're gonna have to. We're gonna take this whole system down in the next week and revamp and make sure it works. All right, technology. I hate it.
Speaking of technology, I'm in the doldrums and I have to get my power cord because there's no wind powering my computer. I'll be right back.
All right. So as we're looking here, a couple of others here. Tink is here watching the show. I don't see any other questions right now. The Cannon Company, Parlor 8 will be there with the Loose Cannon Company up at Beaufort. That's good. Couple of others here. Parlor 8 will also be in Cedar Key.
Woohoo!
All right. The St. Augustine Swashbucklers will not be going to Cedar Key this year because our quartermaster is getting married, and it's just, yeah. So there's a he won't be woohooing after it's all over.
You know what Edmund said to me the other day?
What's that?
He said that he was talking to his buddy, and his buddy's like, "Man, you look way too happy. You need to get married so you can be just as miserable as the rest of us." Yeah, I punched him for that one.
Chum Bucket, Ransom Mayhem has invited you to come over to the festival in October over there. And you and I had already talked about coming out to St. Augustine in February. So you've got 2 dates to look at to try to come out and join the festivals.
I'm working on my calendar as we speak.
Very good, very good. Gina Marie is on. I see her now.
Hi, Gina.
He's the best.
Captain Morrow is good. Happy preemptive Talk Like a Pirate Day. Very good. Marissa Weber from up there in the northern parts there in the Carolina. She's up there from Mermaid Sorsha. And thank you very much, Captain Morrow, from the congrats. And I appreciate that. We've got some good comments here. So it's time for us to do a couple of the things we always do, and that is our video highlights, which would be This Week in Nautical History. Are you ready, Mandy?
Yes.
So This Week in Nautical History, ladies and gentlemen, is sponsored by Florida Water Tours, and we are celebrating Talk Like a Pirate Day by the entire crew going out on the water of the Matanzas Bay tomorrow night on a party ship. Huzzah! Aye. And we'll host a drink in honor of Old Chum Bucket and have a good time. And Mandy, go ahead and play it.
Welcome to This Week in Nautical History, sponsored by our friends at Florida Water Tours. Experience the Intercoastal Waterway at its finest, featuring picture-perfect attractions. We begin This Week in Nautical History in the year 1502. Christopher Columbus lands at Costa Rica on his fourth and last voyage. 1519. Spanish expedition led by Portuguese navigator Ferdinand Magellan sets off on the first successful circumnavigation of the globe. Magellan killed en route. 1559. 5 Spanish ships sink in storm off Tampa. About 600 die. 1779. John Paul Jones, aboard the USS Bonhomme Richard, defeats the British frigate HMS Serapis and becomes the United States' first well-known naval hero. 1914. German submarine sinks 3 British ironclads. 1,459 die. 1943. Destroyer HMS Keppel sinks U-229. And finally, in 1944, World War II, British submarine trade wind torpedoes Juno Maru, 5,600 killed, including 1,377 Allied POWs and 4,200 Japanese slave laborers. And that was This Week in Nautical History.
We always have some really great nautical history, and ladies and gentlemen, nautical history is sponsored by Florida Water Tours. If you want a great water tour here in St. Augustine, they've got 3 different sized boats. You can go out and have a good time. We're taking their biggest one out tomorrow night, and we're going to have...
What time is that?
What's that?
What time is that?
6 o'clock. So we're going out to drink rum.
Is it a 3-hour tour?
It is not a 3-hour tour. And I've made sure that nobody on the manifest is Thurston, Lovey, the Professor, Mary Ann, or Ginger. Nobody on the manifest has those names, so we'll be okay. Chum Bucket, Ransom Mayhem says if he can get you some contact information, he will call you and send you some info if you're interested in his October event.
Oh, right.
Hey, the worst that you can say is no. I mean, no is not a bad answer.
But if you make it, you have to come to Shiver Me Pictures.
I will. If I do, I will. And if I can, I'll let you know.
There you go. All right. So Shipwreck with Captain Morrow says he would like to thank Old Chum Bucket for assisting in creating such a fun holiday for the community. It gave me an ideal date to finally release my book after 4 years. So he just released his book. So everybody does something because of you. Good or bad, it's because of you.
It's been literally my pleasure. People keep asking us, how long are you going to do that? I'll keep doing it as long as it's fun.
Hey.
Oh, yeah.
No, I wrote a book.
I mean, did you really? What'd you write?
I wrote a children's book. I'm working on getting an illustrator.
Oh, very good. What's it all about?
Well, it's about a parrot and an octopus who are best friends, and they sail around.
A parrot and an octopus sailing around.
I love it.
Aye, sounds good to me. Aye. We'll
I
have
need
to
an
see that
illustrator
one.
if anybody knows a good one.
We'll find you an illustrator. We've got quite a few. We're working on all kinds of things like that. We now do something at Old City Pirate Festival, which is Artist Row, and we invite anybody that has a book to come, put their book on display, talk about it, meet the people, and try to sell a few. And we don't ask anything from them. It's kind of a cool extra of Old City Pirate Festival. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, we always do This Week in History also, and it's sponsored by Dick's Wings. If you want a good lunch for under $12, ladies and gentlemen, they have a great lunch, and they have a variety of different things. They actually have 4 different hot dogs. You can't eat that hot dog in one setting, ladies and gentlemen. It is a foot-long hot dog, and it can't be done. But if you want a good lunch, go to Dick's Wings out on US 1 by the shores, and they are our sponsor. In fact, they have just bought our sponsorship to go all the way through to 2024 now. So they are sponsoring our Spooktacular, and they're sponsoring the podcast all the way through till next October.
Nice.
I like having sponsors that when you go in and say, this is what we want to do, the guy goes, looks good to me, I'll give you a check. It's always nice. Right, Tom?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
It's always nice to get paid as a pirate. Right.
Oh, yeah. I remember that.
Yeah. So, on that note, Mandy, give us This Week in History.
Welcome to This Week in History, sponsored by our good friends at Dick's Wings Bar and Grill. Wings, salads, wraps, quesadillas, and more. No matter what your taste buds crave, they've got you covered. We begin This Week in History in the year 1635. Emperor Ferdinand II declares war on France. 1837, Charles Louis Tiffany and John B. Young co-found a stationery and fancy goods emporium in New York City, later renamed in 1853 as Tiffany and Company. 1850, U.S. Congress passes fugitive slave law as part of Compromise of 1850, requires slaves be returned to their owners. 1876. First carpet sweeper patented by Melville Bissell of Grand Rapids, Michigan. 1893. New Zealand becomes the first country to grant all women the right to vote. 1928. My Weekly Reader magazine makes its debut. 1947. The Central Intelligence Agency officially comes into existence after being established by President Truman in July. Then in 1951, The Day the Earth Stood Still, science fiction film directed by Robert Wise and starring Michael Rennie, opens. 1952, Adventures of Superman, TV series starring George Reeves, premieres in syndication in the U.S. 1955, commercial television begins in the UK with the launch of ITV. Soon airs the first advert on UK TV for Gibbs SR toothpaste. 1965, TV sitcom I Dream of Jeannie, starring Barbara Eden as a 2,000-year-old genie and Larry Hagman as an astronaut who becomes her master, premieres on NBC. 1976, TV drama Charlie's Angels, starring Farrah Fawcett, Kate Jackson, Jacqueline Smith, and John Forsythe, debuts. 1977, U.S. Voyager 1 takes first space photograph of Earth and Moon together. And finally, in 1994, The Shawshank Redemption, directed by Frank Darabont, starring Tim Robbins and Morgan Freeman, is released. And that was This Week in History.
Some pretty interesting things, but I did have one observation. The commercial for the toothpaste in England, they must not have made very much money.
Speaking of England, going back to that, the previous segment about maritime history, one of the places the Blue Buccaneers play is a Victorian-style spa called Filey. And Filey was where that battle of the Revolutionary War took place, where Jean-Paul Jones shot down the Bonhomme Richard.
Aye, yeah.
And Filey is an interesting. It's just south of Scarborough, which has a port, but a harbor. And Filey is a bay, but it doesn't have a marina or anything. So, and most of it is like on top of some bluff. So, in whatever year that was, the townspeople were all standing on these bluffs, watching this battle take place at sea. I've heard much tell of that particular battle.
And then starts the idea of amphitheaters.
Exactly, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, we can't do this show without saying thank you at the end of every show, and we have what we consider to be a pretty unique way to do it. But before we do that, it is time for Mini Mayhem to give us the reveal of the joke from the beginning of the show. So, Mini Mayhem, come out here and tell us, what is it about pirates that we need to know now? Come on, Minnie.
Okay, it's time for the answer to the joke of the week. Why are pirates never cremated when they die? The answer is, they always bury their booty.
That's why the rum's always gone.
Because we need a drink after that joke.
I got to have a drink on that one. Yeah, I have to have a drink on that one. On that note, we have a thank you. Miss Mandy, would you go ahead and play that thank you for us?
The Captain Quarters Podcast is indeed a ship sailing the seas of the world, always in search of history, knowledge, and adventure. It takes a crew to run a ship, so we'd like to take this opportunity to thank those who help keep the ship afloat. Our sponsors: St. Augustine Pirate and Treasure Museum, Dick's Wings Bar and Grill, Spyglass Travel, Ancient City Sirens, Rikers Reenactors, Paper and Strings, Shiver Me Pictures, and Florida Water Tours. The supporting cast and crew: Captain William Mayhem, Navigator Davey Longwood, Gunner Hellfire Henley, Cartographer Mandy Joe, Juan Cam, and of course our Powder Monkey. Helping others gives the crew purpose. The 4 major charities we support, with always room for more, are Inc., Investing in Kids, St. Johns County Fire Cadets, SAYS, St. Augustine Youth Services, and the Humane Society. You too can be part of the crew and support the show in many ways. Go to Patreon, support us with a small monthly contribution as Powder Monkey or First Mate memberships. Go to YouTube, hit the like and subscribe button to join our ranks and support the show. Or a single contribution which helps with other expenses of the show. Thank you. It does take a crew.
Aye, it does, and it's always good to thank everybody that provides the support and the help that you need to run any event, whatever it is. And that's the way we do it. What are our platforms, Miss Mandy? If you want to watch the show, ladies and gentlemen, you can watch the show live on YouTube every Monday night at 8 o'clock. And once the show cans, it automatically downloads to our YouTube channel, which you can go and see some of the cuts we did over at Ancient City Con this past weekend and any one of our past episodes. It also downloads to Instagram and Spotify. If you just want to listen to the show, ladies and gentlemen, which I constantly have people tell me when they're on a trip, they just listen to the shows, Stitcher, iHeart, CastBox, Apple Podcast, and Amazon Music. We will be expanding to about 2 other platforms in the coming weeks.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, we're happy with this. It's very, very good. And our numbers are growing again. I believe our numbers have popped up again a little bit more. We have 1,418 subscribers. That's like 8 or 9 more over what we had last week. So if we keep going at 8 or 9, we'll make it to 1,500 before you know it. My goal is 1,500 by the end of the year. I don't know if we'll make it, but we're going to try. 1,500, we like that. But we're getting 6,000 to 7,000 views a week on all of our parts. And one of the things that Mandy does is she creates little shorts, and the little shorts get out there. And we're not talking about pirate shorts, we're just talking about film shorts. And that gets put out there, and everybody gets to watch it. On that note, I always love to give our guests a final word. And as always, ladies first. Miss Scarlett, do you have anything you want to say to anybody or everybody?
Just that I am happy to be here again. I think this is like, my 4th time?
Yes.
As a guest on the show. It's always an honor. It has been an absolute honor to be among such pirate notoriety as yourselves.
I couldn't agree with you more on that one. Mr. Tom Mason of the Blue Buccaneers, do you have anything you want to tell our listeners? I want to say thank you very much, but it's your floor.
Oh, thank you very much. I love y'all. It's just, I've gotten so much support, and I am so grateful to all of our pirate friends in St. Augustine, the Panhandle, all over the world. And thank you, Captain Slappy and Old Chum Bucket, for coming up with this wonderful holiday. It's so much fun, and that's pretty much our job, is to make people happy, I think. And you certainly have with this holiday.
Yes, I think so. Absolutely. You're the blame for it.
Absolutely.
So we'll give you now this chance to stand up for yourself.
I just want to remind everyone, this is Talk Like a Pirate Eve. So when you go to bed tonight, leave out a piece of ship's biscuit and a shot of rum for the ghost of Robert Newton, who is the patron saint of International Talk Like a Pirate Day. He's coming, and if you don't give him the rum, you might get nasty.
He might.
Absolutely.
And that's all we need is a bunch more R's.
Right.
Well, it's one of the reasons we do this show, and we have such a good time with it too, because it's off the cuff, and we have a lot of fun. We have great guests every time. We're actually doing an episode in a couple of weeks we kind of skipped over that little part, Mandy. Sorry about that. But we're doing an episode in a couple of weeks on the history of women in piracy.
Woo-hoo.
So we step into different areas of pirate history, but as you can see by our This Week in Nautical History and This Week in Regular History, we touch all gambits and have a good time. And that's what we have to have a good time with. So we appreciate you guys being a part of the show. We say thank you to all of our listeners, our supporters, and our followers. And, well, raise a glass, because I have a toast. It's not a good one, but it'll work. A toast. In my opinion, to good old Chum Bucket. For without what you did, we all might not be here at all. I give you the honor.
Huzzah!
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 Cheers it is. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, as I always say, if we do the show and I have no guests and it's just me and the crew, we end in an hour or less. We've done less. But every time we have good guests and we get conversation going and questions and just laugh and have a good time, the show is longer. We just did an hour and a half show. How about that? And I actually had a funny thought today, because we've had a couple of shows that go to about 2.5 hours. I had this hilarious thought that I'm going to get Davey and Mandy to find a recording of the theme song of Gilligan's Island. And at the 2.5 hour mark, that theme song has to play to give me the warning that it's time to stop the show.
I think somebody needs to record that too on the pirate.
You know what?
You're here, Church. Tale of a pirate ship. It's hard a trouble aboard this tiny ship. The mate was a mighty sailor, the skipper brave and sure. What's next? 6 passengers set sail that night for a 3-hour journey. The weather started getting rough. The tiny ship was tossed. If not for the courage of that faithful, the minnow would be lost.
Die. So, I've always had wonderings. It couldn't have been that small a ship because the Howells had more outfits than everybody else.
So much luggage.
They had so much luggage. But it's always a joy to have great people on the show. Tom, we've been good friends for, 7-8 years now. And it's always been a joy, and I look forward to it being 7 or 8 or 9 or 19 more.
I can't wait. Can't wait to come back to St. Augustine. I love it there.
And old Chum Bucket, we've talked on and off for at least a year or two.
We'll talk more.
And we'll talk more, but it's finally nice to actually say now that we are officially locked into a good friendship as pirates. Aye. And I cheer you both. And Mandy, let's can this show. Go ahead.
Part of the podcast?
Part of the crew.
Always. We can't do it without the crew, without our supporters, without our listeners. We love you all. Thank you very much for your support and your generosity. And this show, the 100th episode, is now in the can. Aye.
Huzzah!